How are you, fellow pickers? I usually say welcome back to the Stick Shop, but this is for my new page for American Heritage Guitars. So before I get started, it was an idea of mine over 16 years ago, having clean and sober 14 years now. So, you know, try to get better for your wife, your kids, and I've been clean and sober from booze for over 9 years now too. So I didn't pull the trigger on my idea, because I was trying to get better and just, and as you can see, I have my own automotive shop and, work on old muscle cars and get old, old blocks back to life, 40, 50-year-old blocks back to life, sometimes older. So I wanted to do something different. I wanted to get back into guitars again. It's been a long time. Trying to come back. About 2 months ago, I broke my hand, my right hand, working on a car, and my pinky has like a temporary, it's still like paralysis. I can't get it back to normal, so it's just stuck. So I broke that in a fabulous way. So good thing this is my picking hand. I used to play both right and left-handed. But it's just the pressure of squeezing things still kind of sucks. So to start this venture off, my wife got me a guitar a few years ago. It's gonna need a lot of work. It wound up being a kid's guitar, so the neck doesn't feel right. The strings are crap, the humbuckers are crap, so I'll basically have to rebuild it to make it into a better guitar, in my opinion, for trying to pick some blues, and it just doesn't sound right. Doesn't even sound right playing rock on it. But the whole point of like coming on here and trying to start this venture is, I like to put some history into things. I like to put some thought into things when I talk about a lot of things. And so to get back into that, hopefully some point, before the year's out, hopefully I can get the cigar box guitar that I want, and build that. And then it's gonna be a diddly bow cigar box, and then we'll build a three string cigar box. Hopefully I want to build those two at least before the year's out or the beginning of next year. So this will be like the first and only video for the time being until I get a little better at picking again. And then I'll come back on and maybe do some picking videos. I've got a nice old tunnel here in town. I was built during the railroad days, so it's late 1800s, early 1900s. They didn't stamp it into concrete, which year it was built, but it'd be good for acoustics. So for the time being, I went out and got this gorgeous thing from CB Giddy, and it's only fitting for my shop here, which you'll probably see in the main picture I use. But the canjo, the gearhead canjo, motor oil can. I found a couple of real oil cans. We might actually build one of these out of it, like an actual real legit old oil cans. So, but I just want to get on here and introduce myself to everybody, and that it's going to be a journey to come back from after all these years. But one thing that has remained the same is that we all love music, right? And this is actually, I'm gonna probably buy a beer bottle, like break a beer bottle, and I'll build my own slide. This is actually from one of my sockets I use on cars. It's just a sleeve to help protect the socket. I just grabbed it. So it really doesn't sound that good. I just got nervous because I was sitting here actually picking LaGrange for a second. I was like, oh, I'll get on here and do it. And now I just froze up. But, just get better, get comfortable of actually being on camera doing this. It's different building cars. It doesn't bother me, but like trying to like pick, it's a little different. So that's something I'll have to get used to with y'all. But one thing that we all, that brings people together, you know, electric guitar or acoustic guitar. One thing that remains the same is, you know, everything stems from the blues. Everything comes from the blues. Everything comes from the people who lived before us, you know. And of course, you know, you had good old Muddy Waters. You had good old BB King. There's a lot of other guys out there. I can't rattle them off the top of my brain now. I was trying to think about what to say on here since I'm not doing cars for this particular page of mine. So, but you had a lot of guys out there who contributed so much, and, you know, pretty much were like the, you know, forefathers, so to speak. But they all learned on one guitar, and that was, you know, probably a canjo. You know, but, which I like how this calls a canjo, but actually technically one string, it's a diddly bow. So it's a canjo diddly bow. But, you know, everybody learned, all the greats, before they started picking up them electric guitars, they all pretty much learned on, you know, building a cigar box, you know, diddly bow. They all learned from that. So it's basically, you know, you start from the beginning. So you start on a diddly bow, you know, and you work your way up. But the one thing about guitars, about me trying to switch and play, is, of course, like I said, my pinky. I can't get it to do what it used to do. It's kind of dead. So basically we'll just have to stick with picking old righty here. My pinky just kind of waving out in the breeze, but... So I'll practice a little bit more. I'll get back on here with you guys. But I still want to get some of those... I still want to get some of those, you know, build those. I want to get back into actually building guitars. Many years ago, like many moons ago, I used to work for, it was called Music Shop in Bloomington, but it had the owner's name. I can't remember. It no longer exists. Bloomington, Illinois. I'm living in small town USA of Clinton, Illinois. So, but I used to work there, and I used to, you know, restore the guitars for them. I used to put in new humbuckers. I used to paint them. You know, in life, like I said, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It was more the drugs part that ruined me. And actually, my sleeve here on my arm is both of my Gibsons that I used to own. This was my Sunburst. And then that was my Flying V that I hand painted myself. That was actually, I painted it. I wound up painting it the corporate blue, or Mopar turquoise, as some guys call it. You know, I had quite a few guitars. I had some Fender Fat Strats. I had a Telly growing up. My grandma got me a Telly, and it was 56. I believe it was 56 or 54. I don't even remember now. Somewhere in there. But it was a gorgeous Telly. It might have been earlier because I had the black pick guard. But I always had a guitar in my hand. But, you know, when you want to talk about blues, you want to talk about soul. I know it sounds kind of silly, but maybe some people might get it. But because I was doing my drugs, and, you know, I was heavily steeped in my alcohol, and, you know, trying to live myself in the fast lane, right before I hit my rock bottom and I OD'd for the third and almost final time before I was brought back to life. Well, I woke up a few days later as I was trying to get on my clean train. I tried to grab my guitar, tried to plug it in, tried to play some of my hammer on a pull-off licks that I made myself, and I couldn't play. So I almost felt like, you know, God, angels, whatever, they took the gift of picking away from me. And just within this past year or so, I kind of felt like, I don't know, I just kind of felt like a touch on my shoulder, like, you know, maybe it's time you can get back to picking. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna practice up here on this thing for now, and maybe try to come back with some jam videos, get under that bridge of mine, because I don't know how well you can hear this. Plus with this slot, with this plastic piece anyways, I just literally grabbed it from a socket sitting here. This is what it goes on. This is socket for taking off lug nuts. And it's just a sleeve to help protect it. So I took it off there, and I can't really fit any of those sockets on my finger. So, I mean, it's not as strong, but I kind of just, I don't know, I've had an epiphany for a while, and you know when some things just scare you and make you nervous, then it's the right choice. So I kind of feel like something's telling me to, you know, dive back into guitars. That's why you'll see my logo up here, instead of saying American Heritage Guitars, it says guitars. Because a lot of them older guys you run into or you start talking to that are pickers and not, you know, picking junk. When I grew up, when somebody said picker, it meant, were you a picker? Did you play the guitar? And they'd always say guitar. So that's kind of like the ongoing joke of why I, instead of saying American Heritage Guitars, why I use guitars. But I just felt like something just kind of just compelled me to just dive back into it, to get back into it, you know. So I'm just gonna dive headlong back into it, and I'm gonna build myself a couple of guitars, and I'm gonna document those when I can. I mean, because this is how I pay the bills right here. My shopping, getting cars up and going. So get some extra money here. Hopefully I can get, you know, one in before the year's out. I'd like to get both in, but, you know, life and paying bills and everything in between. But we'll see. I'll try hard to get some in here. But if not, this is just the introduction video for now. I'm just talking to you guys. Like I said, I know that might sound silly about what I just said, but I don't know, maybe it's happened for somebody else out there. Maybe it hasn't. But I just woke up one day and I just couldn't play anymore. It sounds so weird, but I just felt like if you're given that gift when you were born or you're little, because I pretty much had, like I said, had a guitar in my hand my whole entire life, you know. And I just woke up and I couldn't play anymore. So I tried to put it out of my mind, you know, and worry about life and kids and everything in between, and just be afraid to pick up a guitar again. You know, and one night I was sitting there watching an old B.B. King documentary, and it just hit me. It just hit me like a ton of bricks, like a lightning bolt. And I've had some dreams about it ever since then, and just something's just telling me, you know, you need to. It's time. You need to get back into it. And you know, music for anybody, especially the blues. The reason why people call the blues so compelling, why so many of the greats, is because it comes from here. You know, it comes from, you know, within your heart, and you go with it. That's why, you know, you listen to B.B. King. That's why you listen to Muddy Waters. You know, that's why my mind's going blank here. I had a few other names I wanted to say. I'm so used to car stuff, I can just rattle off the brain. That's how long I've been away from guitars. But crap. Hold on a second. Oh my word! I can't think of off Chuck Berry. You know, he made the song Route 66. A lot of tunes roll over Beethoven. my ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling. So, you know, he made a lot of catchy songs. He was a great writer, and he captured the audience not only with his guitar playing, but like the way he spoke, the way he made lyrics was like just coming from everyday life. I mean, a lot of blues musicians have done that. It's coming from the heart, you know. It's speaking from the heart. Now, I couldn't say that really for a lot of new age ones. You know, I used to listen to Johnny Legg all the time. You know, but like I said, all those guys, you know, without Muddy Waters, without B.B. King, without everybody, you know, Fats Domino, without all those guys, there would be no rock and roll. There would be no this. There would be no that. I mean, these guys, like I said, they're, you know, the forefathers, the front runners, you know, and they all started on something like this. A diddly bow. So, you know, and you can't have a diddly bow without Bo Diddley. He took his name from it. But it's just music that captures you, it compels you. You know, there might be other music to other people like rock and this and that, but the only other thing for me is, you know, my Norse heritage and listening to traditional Norse music besides the blues for me, which I'd have to figure out one day how to take that and compile it with blues, but I don't think that'd be right. I really don't. I don't think that'd be a justful thing to do. But, you know, some guys just sat around one day, you know, they've had their hardships, you know. It is no denying that most of these people were, you know, and their families, you know, they were slaves. They needed something that they could escape the bad times from. And so, music, you know, they created, you know, canjos, and they created, you know, cigar box guitars. You know, they made their own guitars out of nothing and baling wire. It's just amazing, you know, figuring that out and letting their emotions out. And because they were able to let their emotions out, they were able to create the best music, I mean, known to man, period. There's no denying that. So you always got to think the ones who came before us. And I'm not just talking music, I'm talking life, whether it's automotive like this or guitars or, you know, anything. You know, you got to think the ones who came before, because they were setting the bar for how you should be. So like I said, I'll get picking on this, and I'll get a little better, and I'll try to create some tunes. I'll come back on here with you guys. And of course, CB Giddy. My fingers. So go to CB Giddy. There's always some great guitars. There's always great parts. And build yourself one today if you haven't already. Now, I know I'm just joining this community after all these years, but you will see that my page here I've been on for 5 years and I haven't even done anything. I've been nervous too. I've tried to stay focused on the automotive front, but you know, for the heart and for the soul, you know, to try to go home and relax, it's like picking up a guitar. You know, and that's where it finally hit me that I need to start picking up a guitar. I need to start putting more happiness back in my soul. I mean, no pun intended because of the blues, but I'm just saying, like, I need to put happiness back in my heart. You know, I need to be more relaxed. I've been too stressed, and music was always, for me when I could play, was always a, you know, stress reliever. So I'm hoping that I can gain a little bit of talent back with a little bit of hard work and be a better picker and pick more from the heart and pick more from the soul. You know, I'd like to play some good tunes, from everybody. And I'd also, without singing, of course, I ain't got that voice no more. I'm a smoker. So it's about the only thing I do wrong nowadays for my body is that I'm still a smoker. So, but just thank you all so much for love and support. I hope a lot of people can like my page, because right now doing this with you guys, I don't have any likes. I just got it done and created because I've been waiting to unveil this to you guys. It was supposed to come in today, but it came in Saturday, so I had to let it sit in the box, and then I opened it up this morning because I had to get myself re-excited to do this. So I didn't want to stare at it. I just popped the box open, I went like this, and I went, okay, and I put it back in. So when I popped it open this morning, I was like, yeah. So we were walking down the road, coming down here to the shop, and I was people were probably like, what the hell is this guy carrying, Like I said, I just want to get better. I want to build some more guitars. Like building it with your bare hands, you're building it. You're not just going out and buying it off the shelf and, plugging it in, or if it's not electric, then just acoustic, or if it's both, whatever. But you're not going out and just, buying it. It's building it with your own hands. It's not rocket science, but it takes time. It takes a lot of patience. It takes, a little bit of math. Of course, measuring. So I just want to get back into that. I want to, bring to the table the joy of music. I always thought back in the day, because I've been away from it for so long, but I met a lot of great people. I met more great people in music or around music than even in the automotive industry. So I like to tend to think that, we're a family who understands each other. I like to tend to think that, we all have a vision. So I kind of hope that, we can kind of make a fun community out of this. We can make a fun family out of this. I want to get funner. This is so different because I'm not recording from my shop. That's one of my banners behind me. So this is music. This isn't my automotive side of me. If you check out my channel, I'm always fun and ongoing, and giving a lot of factual evidence out there. About the automotive. So I got to get back into the swing of guitars. I got to get back in the swing of the lingos. I got to get back in the swing of pretty much everything. So like I said, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. If you can, show support. I'm really going to try hard to get some extra money, get those 3 or 4 that I want to build, and start rolling within the end of this year, going into 2024. Like I said, I work on vehicles for a living. I don't have any faith in my own personal truck over here, or the one I've been working on, or on my box over here in the corner. So that's got to come first before this. But one day I'm hoping that maybe I can finally just, leave the automotive field behind one day and just retire and focus on just building some nice guitars for guys. Kind of what I hope for one day. Be kind of nice, and it'd be a good change pace. But for now, we'll set up a corner over here when we get to building stuff. Unless if I can take some stuff to our tiny little apartment and figure something out there. But we'll see. But I'll get off here and quit rambling. I hope to get more comfortable about all this. I'm not in my automotive shell right now. So I gotta take the old 10-gallon hat off and get ready to get back to work on cars and listen to some good music and calm myself down and get in the zone. And then I'll get home tonight. And I'll start picking away and get better. Winter time's almost here. So I'm gonna have to wait to take y'all to those locations within spring of next year, but that means I can get a little better. And we can have some nice backdrop, we can have some good, you know, tone in that tunnel, and there's tons of other spots around here. Like I said, just thank you all so much for love and support. I'm going to try to get those together. I'm going to try to get on here so we can do some fun, you know, fun recorded building videos. And get to playing, get to picking. So CB Giddy. I love this one because it's the gearhead motor oil. And it fits right in with my shop. So most of you guys will, I'll try to put these on one of my blocks or something over here, you know, kind of tipped up to where you can see this. And I'm sure that it'll look good. Try to take a good picture for y'all. But until then, like I said, this will be the only video until I can get things rolling. But I just wanted to come, you know, introduce myself, tell a little bit of my own story, because I'm about that, because I want my story to help somebody, you know, change their life, or if somebody went through something similar like I did, as I came in, I get it, this happened to me. That is absolutely incredible, and that is absolutely awesome. And I also couldn't be prouder of you too if you're going through the same stuff. So keep fighting, keep picking. Keep trying to stay happy. I know easier said than done, but there's just something about picking up a guitar and start picking away. Like I said, once again, CB Giddy. And just picking away, and it helps remove so much stress. But I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for love and support. I will catch you back here at American Heritage Guitars as soon as possible. And I'll get better at picking for y'all. So I love you guys so much. God bless. Take it easy. Get to picking.